He was given a set of coordinates. No photographs, no maps, no briefing of any kind. What he drew was sitting in a Soviet shipyard. It hadn't been photographed yet. 23 years, yet the CIA said it had produced nothing. The program outlived 6 presidents. It survived 23 annual budget reviews. Programs that produce nothing don't do that. By 1970, American intelligence had discovered the Soviet Union was funding psychic research. Not fringe science, a dedicated government program studying telepathy and remote perception as potential military tools. They called it psychotronics. The concern inside the CIA was not that Americans believed any of this was real. It was that the Soviets clearly did, and they were funding it like they meant it. In 1972, the CIA contracted 2 physicists at Stanford Research Institute in California, Hal Puthoff and Russell Targ. Their assignment? Test whether psychic perception was scientifically real. A target team travels to any location in the world. The subject receives only a set of coordinates, nothing else. Their first serious subject was Ingo Swann, a New York artist, a self-described psychic. In controlled tests, his accuracy exceeded chance at a rate that demanded explanation. In 1973, they asked him to remote view Jupiter, the planet, 67 million miles away. He said there was a ring around the planet. No such ring was known. Astronomers wouldn't confirm one until 1979. The Soviet weapons facility at Semipalatinsk. Analysts needed to know what was being built inside. No surveillance flight could get close enough. The imaging from orbit showed shapes, but not answers. They tasked Pat Price, a former police commissioner. He received only the coordinates, nothing else. Price described a massive gantry crane near the buildings. That was it. When analysts compared his sketch with National Reconnaissance Office satellite imagery, elements of Price's sketch matched what the photographs showed. The program moved to Fort Meade under the Defense Intelligence Agency. The roster expanded. 5 program names: Gondola Wish, Grill Flame, Center Lane, Sunstreak, and finally, Stargate. One of the new military personnel was Joseph McGonigal, Chief Warrant Officer, U.S. Army. He was known as Remote Viewer 001. In 1979, McGonigal was given coordinates pointing somewhere inside the Soviet Union. Nothing else. He described a submarine, unusual width, multiple launch tubes. No matching vessel was in any file. His sketches were flagged as significant and forwarded up the chain of command. 3 months later, satellites photographed a Soviet shipyard. Inside was the Typhoon-class submarine, a central NATO threat. In 1979, a Soviet Tu-22 bomber went down somewhere in Zaire. No satellite imaging could locate it. The CIA needed to find the aircraft before Soviet recovery teams reached it first. An Air Force enlisted woman named Roseberry Smith was handed a map of Africa, nothing else. The coordinates she provided led recovery teams to the wreckage. President Carter later confirmed the incident publicly. The file was then classified. These were not laboratory results. These were outcomes in the field, against real intelligence targets. 23 years, 89,000 pages of documentation, funded by the CIA, the DIA, and the Army, simultaneously. In 1995, the CIA commissioned 2 independent scientists to review the entire program. Their findings made the official conclusion very hard to defend. Dr. Jessica Utz was professor of statistics at the University of California, Davis. She was not a believer in psychic phenomena and was hired to analyze the data using rigorous statistical methods. Then she published. Remote viewers had performed significantly above chance across hundreds of controlled trials over 2 decades of testing. The odds that results of that magnitude occurred by chance? Less than 1 in a billion. Utt's counterpart was Dr. Ray Hyman, psychology professor, the program's most credentialed scientific critic. He could not explain the results away. What he disputed was their interpretation, not the numbers. The numbers were real, but he believed it needed independent replication to prove psychic abilities. The public cases are far from the full program. They are what was cleared for release. The review reached 2 conclusions. The statistical effect is real, and the program should end. The 2 conclusions don't resolve each other. The CIA has never explained the contradiction. The remote viewers and scientists didn't disappear. McGonigal went on record. Targ and Puthoff published their research openly. Their accounts are consistent. Their descriptions of what happened inside the program match the declassified record. They are confident that the psychic ability is real. What the record cannot tell you is what the program found in the sessions that haven't been released. There are many of them. The government denied this program for 2 decades, then acknowledged the results were real, then said they weren't usable, then kept the files classified. What we have access to is a fraction of those 89,000 pages. The rest remains classified, some of it permanently. The full record is sitting in a box somewhere. It has not been opened. Not for us. The question the record doesn't answer: if this program produced nothing, why is any of it still classified 30 years later?